3 real estate investing acronyms that every wholesaler needs to know. What's going on, everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs, your family-oriented entrepreneur. Welcome to another video. So in this video, I really want to dive into the wholesaling language. One of the things I teach on my channel is wholesaling. And I believe that wholesaling is one of the fastest ways to make money as a real estate investor while minimizing your risk and minimizing the amount of money that you have to put out. Granted, you do have to sometimes spend money on marketing, or you're going to spend some time. You can't get away with sacrificing both. But at the end of the day, it's an easy entry point for you as a real estate investor to get into wholesaling in order to build up your capital and really learn the business. So I really want you to understand the wholesaling language. So when you're talking to other people regarding a deal, for example, you can understand exactly what they're talking about. Now, there's 3 main acronyms that wholesalers use. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different acronyms in real estate, but 3 of them are what wholesalers use in order to be able to talk a specific language to each other. So I want you to be prepared when you're talking to other wholesalers. And the way to do that is to really understand these 3 acronyms and what they actually mean. So the first acronym that we're going to talk about today is after repaired value. What exactly does that mean? Well, it's right in the name, after repaired value. Countless times I've seen students come and say that they have a deal on a plate, and they said they ran their comps on the property. A lot of times when they run their comps, they're comping the property in the condition that it's in. But if you're focusing on the after repaired value, you want to know how much a property is worth after the repairs are done. So how much is the property worth in the future? How much is the property going to be worth if I put $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 into it? Not the condition that it's in right now. And if you're comping your properties the way that I just explained, where you're not future valuing the property, then you're shooting yourself in the foot, because you can have some deals on a plate and you're not truly using what a property can be potentially worth in the future, because the ARV is how you want to base your numbers in order to really be able to make your offer on a property. So ARV stands for after repaired value. The best way to find this is to run comparable sales of like and kind properties that have recently sold relatively close to the property. And again, like and kind doesn't necessarily mean the same condition. We're looking for how much that same property can sell for or be worth later on after you put the work into the property. The second acronym that you want to be mindful of is MAO, maximum allowable offer. And again, just like with ARV, MAO, the meaning of it is right in the name. All you got to do is find out what your MAO is, and that's going to be the amount that you can actually pay for a property. Now, ironically, you would use the ARV as part of the formula in order to come up with your MAO. Here's how it works. Take the ARV of a property, the after repaired value, you multiply that number using the 70% rule. And if you want to know more about the 70% rule, be sure to check the tags up at the top of this video for more information on how that actually works. But you're going to take the after repaired value, you're going to multiply that number by 70%, and then you're going to subtract the repairs on that property. And that's how you're going to come up with your maximum allowable offer. That formula that I just shared with you is called the Mayo formula. And that's used commonly in wholesaling, in fixing and flipping, and in buy and hold investing when you're dealing with single family residential real estate. Now, when it comes to the 70% rule, what I do want to mention is that that number, that 70%, fluctuates based on your local market conditions. In some markets, people pay more than 70%. In other markets, people pay less than 70%. If you're wholesaling, you want to come in less than that 70% minus repairs, because that's how you create a spread. Let's say in your market, somebody's paying 75 cents on a dollar and not 70 cents on a dollar. If you can come in at 70 or 65, you create a spread knowing that you can sell or wholesale your contract to somebody for a higher amount. A third acronym that you want to keep in mind is EMD. Now, EMD stands for Earnest Money Deposit. Just like with the first 2 acronyms, the meaning of it is right in the name. You're providing somebody with a certain amount of money that you're going to put down on a property in order to be able to solidify your agreement between you and them. Now, once you put down an earnest money deposit, you have a certain period in order to do due diligence if that's what you negotiated in your agreement. A lot of times as wholesalers, we're buying properties as is. So that due diligence period, if you put any in there, is really irrelevant, or you're going to use it as a way to not be able to close on a property. I personally don't like to sign contracts on properties that I know I'm not going to close, but that's completely up to you and how you want to run your real estate investing business. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is that an EMD, an earnest money deposit, is not the same as a due diligence deposit. The difference between the two is 9 times out of 10, due diligence deposits are non-refundable. Earnest money is refundable based on how you negotiate your contract between you and the seller. So for example, I recently sold a rental property, and rather than accepting an earnest money deposit from my buyer, I took a due diligence amount in the amount of $2,000 in order to be able to solidify the agreement. Now, if the buyer backs out of the deal, I get to keep the entire $2,000. If the buyer were to put down earnest money, they can potentially get their money back. Now, I had 2 other buyers before this buyer and made an additional $5,000 on those due diligence deposits, and both of those buyers backed out. This particular buyer decided to close the deal because they love the house. So I really made an additional $7,000 on this house just in earnest money. Now, granted, the $2,000 that this particular buyer that's about to close on the property put down will come off of the purchase price. But again, the point is due diligence is non-refundable while earnest money is refundable. So when you put down earnest money on a property in order to solidify your agreement with them, just understand that whatever you negotiate, you can get that money back at the end of the day because it is refundable. So those are the 3 acronyms that you really want to know. Those are the main ones that you really want to know as a wholesaler. You got ARV, which is after repaired value. You got MAO, which is maximum allowable offer. And then you got EMD, which is earnest money deposit. That's really the basis of what you need to know acronym wise as a real estate investor. And once you understand that, you can talk the language, you can negotiate deals comfortably, and you can come across as a more professional wholesale real estate investor. I know there's a ton of other acronyms out there. If there's any that you want me to dive into in more detail, leave a comment in the comment section. I'll be happy to create another video regarding those acronyms. Look forward to creating a lot more content for you to help you go from where you are to where you want to go in your real estate investing journey. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell. I hope you benefited from this video, and I'll see you on the next one.